And as Ghana highlights its recent macroeconomic gains in the 2026 budget, the Africa Sustainable Energy Center, ASEC, is sounding the alarm. Executive Director Engineer Justice Ohene Akoto warns that despite fiscal stability, deep structural loopholes in the energy sector threaten to unravel the progress. He joins me on Zoom to break down the risks the budget overlooked and what must change. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to the exchange on the marketplace. So ASEC has praised Ghana's macroeconomic gains, but warns of fragility beneath the surface. What, in your view, is the single biggest risk the 2026 budget fails to confront in the energy sector?
Yeah, hello, good afternoon to you, Darrow, and then good afternoon to your viewers. Regarding the budget, I'll say that so far the government has done well. They are doing a good job in managing the energy sector, and then also some of the allocation that has been done to the energy sector is good. But then ASEC is cautioning. We are warning that, hey, we don't just have to allocate funds to a sector, we need to allocate funds to a sector with caution. So what the biggest risks and the loopholes that we have identified is that the 20 billion allocation that we've allocated to the energy sector without performance accountability. That is one of the biggest that we have to look at. We say that we can't keep channeling money into a sector where the fundamental issues has not been resolved. So our caution is that, yes, the 20 million allocation to the energy sector is good, but we have to tie it to performance accountability. And then tying it to performance accountability, what are we talking about? You are talking about ECG reforms. This is a sector where ECG happens to be the weakest link. And then revenue mobilization, we are not able to collect over 30% of our revenue. So if we don't block that loophole and then keep channeling money into the sector, it is more of a narrative of just fetching water into the baskets. It just keeps accruing the debts that we are having without resolving the fundamental issue. So that is the major loophole within the budget. We need to tie it to performance accountability, majority with ECG.
Yeah, like you point out, the budget allocates 20 billion Ghana cedis to shortfall payments and legacy IPP debt. Yet, you're saying there are no performance targets tied to this spending. Let's delve deeper into the specific accountability measures that the government should have included.
Yeah, so like as I said earlier, the recovery of ECG, they are able to cover about just about 30%. So we have to rather go in phases. We need to tell ECG that, hey, you have to increase your revenue mobilization by, let's say, 20%. And then if you are able to do that, that is when we are going to channel X amount into that. So we need to tie it into the revenue mobilization of ECG. And one other thing has to do with the ECG reforms. One has to do with the privatization of the commercial leg of ECG. When you read the budgets, it was stated that it would be latter part of the year. But we need to expedite that. We need to bring it to the first quarter. That, hey, we tie it to this, that, hey, within the first quarter, we have to be able to have privatized the commercial arm of ECG. The conversation here is that we want to get an ECG where we are able to increase our revenue mobilization or our revenue recovery to 90% and then 100%. So that is one of them. The other reforms that we have to tie to is procurement processes in ECG. We see this year, we saw the number of containers that got missing over the years. And even looking at the expenditure, ECG always spends more than their budget. So these are some of the things to tie it to: privatization of ECG, the procurement processes within ECG as well, and then some of these indicators. If you're able to tie this 20 billion to this performance accountability, then we should be in a good place. Else, we just keep accruing to the debt. And then another thing we point out here is that within the year, the government added 1 cedi to petroleum, the petroleum that we buy, and also there's ESLA, right? So where are those monies? Where is the 1 cedi that we put on the petroleum levy? We need to make them accountable. Some of these monies, when the government is transparent, and then we are accountable, this will be able to inject into the energy sector rather than allocating an extra 20 billion into the sector. The reason why we've not really seen the effect of the one city levy on fuel and then the ESLA has to do with one, transparency, and then two, because the fundamental issues has not been blocked. So we can't keep channeling money into a sector that we've not resolved the fundamentals, else we are just channeling like pouring water into the basket. So this is what ASEC is bringing out strongly.
Yeah, technical and commercial losses remain the biggest driver of energy sector deficits. Why do you think the budget stops short of addressing these losses directly, and what immediate reforms are needed at ECG?
Yeah, so like as I said, the major thing is the commercial losses. Usually the technical losses, they are inevitable, and then we usually fall within a band, usually about 3.5, which is good. I always say that Ghana, we have the technical know-how, so they are doing a very good job. The major issue is the technical losses. So we have to quickly privatize the commercial side of ECG. To be able to give that leg to a private sector who will be able to help with the revenue mobilization. And also we need to invest heavily into smart meter technologies. That will be one of the saviors as well. That will help us in recovering the debts that we are having. The major issue within the commercial losses is power theft. Yeah, so the smart meters will help us. And also there's a behavioral and attitudinal aspect of it. As I always say, we as Ghanaians should also find a way to help ECG. Yeah, so majority is power theft, which there's a behavioral bit as well. And the government, usually power theft is also tied with job creation. You know, people are constrained, so there should be creation of jobs from the government. That is also one other aspect. The next one has to do with the procurement processes. We need to streamline the procurement processes of ECG. So if we're able to do some of these reforms, we should be in a good place.
You've described the proposal to allow domestic investment of the Ghana Petroleum Funds as a serious fiscal risk. What exactly makes this move dangerous, and what alternatives would you recommend?
Yes, so with the Ghana Petroleum Funds, what we are saying is that it is usually used as an external stabilizer against commodity stocks and currency depreciation. When it comes to commodity stocks and then currency depreciation, there are a lot of geopolitical factors that you cannot control. So what we are saying is that let's keep the petroleum funds to do what it's doing. We collected a lot of other monies, like as I said, the one city levy on fuels this year. We also have the ESLA. Where are those monies? We diverted some of the ESLAs, and at the moment we don't know where some of those funds have gone to. So there are a lot of times where we have diverted funds. We don't know where those funds went to. So what we are saying is that there have been funds for the energy sector, the one city fuel levy, the ESLA. Let's use those monies for what we said we will use them for. They should be able to solve majority and a chunk of our energy issues. And let's leave the Ghana Petroleum Funds to do what we said we will use it for. It's for commodity stocks and to as an exchange stabilizers against commodity stocks and currency depreciation. Let's use them for what we said we use it for. And the funds that we collected, the one city levy on fuel, the ESLA, let's use those for what we said we use it for. That is helping and buffering the energy sector. That is what ASEC is saying.
If you were advising the finance ministry today, what 3 reforms would you prioritize to make Ghana's energy sector financially sustainable over the next 5 years?
Yeah, so what I'll say is first, transparency. We need to make the sector transparent. One is the monies, the levies that we've collected. What are we using them for? Transparency. And secondly, we have the cash waterfall mechanism. We are paying the independent producers, the IPPs. Who are those behind it? Where are the monies going? The debts keeps accruing. We need to be transparent. And the other thing is that we need to tie everything we are doing to performance accountability. We can't just channel money into a sector where we've put too much money and then we don't know where the monies are going. We need to make ECG accountable. We need to make all the energy sector players accountable for what they said they should do. There are other sectors that are equally struggling, which need support. If you are able to resolve some of these issues within the energy sector, we can channel this chunk of money into the sectors to help them as well. So we have to make sure that the energy sector is accountable, and then also a lot of transparency. That is what I would advise the finance ministry to do within the sector. Transparency and accountability, and we should be strict and stringent in our activities. Whatever we said we should do, let's be strict and stringent, and then we'll be able to make it work. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for the Tuesday Exchange on the Marketplace. I appreciate your time. Engineer Justice Ohene Akoto, Executive Director, Africa Sustainable Energy Center, ASEC. Appreciate your time.